Now, for our first Humble Chats interview segment this afternoon, joining us via Zoom is the CEO of the Specific Business Consultancy, Le Fionga ya Afamasaga Jackie Curry. Afamasaga is the founder and CEO of the Specific Business Consultancy. She is a business strategist, educator, mentor, and coach for women entrepreneurs, and she has over 20 years' experience working with businesses in New Zealand and the Pacific region. She is the founder of the Inailau Pacific Business Women's Network, and she'll be launching new services under Inailau next week at the Inailau International Women's Day event. So joining us via Zoom this afternoon to talk a bit about next week's events is Le Fionga ya Afamasaga Jackie Curry. Talofa lava lo Fionga Afamasaga, welcome to the show this afternoon.
Yeah, atala fatu a fionga ne sa whapena fo'i le mamanu le tato atunuu sila mai ma whafonga mai mo ne taimi o le auni, taimi o le awanoa.
Ma lo whaftai mo le whawanoa ina lau taimi, lo Fionga matua usua lii, talitonu o lo tele lava tutongia, ma tiute mwhaiva lo whianga ima lo Fionga, whaftai mo le whawanoa ina lau taimi. Tā te whasoa foi I lunga le tātou porkalame. Ai maise a wale tā penanga o le whaamoe lea mo le vai aso fau. Before we get into next week's events, as we do with all our guests, Lo Fionga Afamasaga, I'd like to give the opportunity to atu leva noe Lo Fionga. Whailo o ai Afamasaga, where you come from, who you represent, your villages and all of that good stuff before we get into the business side of things. Malengang whaaloalo, Afamasaga?
Tai lava le sa, o aule nei o Afamasaga Jackie Curry, se tata whatau whaana na ola mai Samoa, na ola mai Samoa I matautu tai o le ala whanganga o, I guess, ngo olai, but in terms of, mo o nuu, no o te sau mai o le afo I pasto o tai, o le nukpele o le grandmother, ai whapena fo'i ma nganga I fo le wao le whanga, ma le au wao. So we're, in terms of a little bit about myself. So as you mentioned, I've been a business mentor for a long time. And also a educator o se whaia onga mo me tau pisinisi. No matalo career I Samoa I le National University of Samoa. Le tato University Amanosi Samoa, and mo for ilo avangoa, for ainga me selo whangau le kausanga lua femaniva, but it's 2009 for we moved to New Zealand to e whaonga lo whangau. O le taimi na maua no avanoa no sa whenga wenga le Pacific Business Trust. Oina na amata ilo Korea I New Zealand. But I did actually study in New Zealand, le taimi lo le university ngo aonga I le Auckland University in the late 90s. So I've had a long, I guess, journey, going back and forth as many of us do between Samoa and New Zealand. So I like to call both Samoa, lo Atunu Pele, that's my home. But also I'm very blessed to also have so much time in New Zealand. So yes, so now my children are much older. I'm very blessed with a beautiful son and daughter who are now in their early 20s. And that's just a little bit about me. Malifaloa tele.
Malo whaftai, thank you Afamasaga for the intro. I really want to ask, who was your inspiration, or what was your inspiration behind, pursuing a career in business, or, running a business or business mentoring? Was there someone in your life, that ran a business, or are you from a family that runs businesses? What was the inspiration behind pursuing that?
Yes, that's always a good question to start off about how did we end up in this where the spaces where we work. So I'm very blessed and humbled to be from a family of entrepreneurs in from Samoa. So my family, as you know, my surname Curry,
Yeah.
my great grandfather, say Missy Curry, he was from Ngangaifolevau Lefanga. However, his parents sent him to Apia back in those days. It must have been the early 1900s, I guess.
E.
And he actually set up a business in Apia at that time. And at that time, he ran the sawmill. Any of the, any of our elders who are listening may remember
E.
there was a sawmill, and also he had a hotel called the Tiafau. And that was really like how our family, we ran a few businesses in Samoa. I believe he used to sell cordial as well back in the days.
E.
And then that then followed on to my grandparents. So my grandparents, my grandfather was an insignia in Samoa, and my grandmother, I would say, who's from Vasotai, and she's really the entrepreneur out of them too, to be honest.
E.
Even though my grandfather came from the entrepreneurial family. So I grew up immersed in that environment from a very young age. My grandparents ran a soft drink factory in Samoa. That was when I was quite young. We had a family hotel, which my dad eventually took over
E.
when he moved to Samoa with me when I was only 1 years old. And I grew up immersed in around my grandparents doing business, and then eventually my dad and my parents running multiple businesses in Samoa. I
E.
never actually thought, if I can be honest, Lisa, that I would end up in business. I had these aspirations to come to New Zealand, study, and get a big corporate marketing job. That was my original aspiration, and my dream job was actually to be and working at the tourism authority in Samoa. But anyhow, God has other plans.
Of course.
And
Yeah.
somehow I stumbled on teaching at the National University of Samoa through one of my amazing colleagues who showed it at me for that opportunity. And from then, I knew that my calling was to be a teacher of business. And then from there, I came to New Zealand, and right from 2009, as I mentioned, from my first job at Pacific Business Trust, teaching business programs in collaboration with Te Wānanga Aotearoa. I spent many years teaching business for them um, as well. So, but going back to my inspiration, definitely is my family and my
Beautiful.
roots. Doing faos in Samoa for me was a bit different.
E.
Faos for my family was actually working in the family business at the shop, at
Right.
the hotel. And like, that was faos to me.
Of
But
course.
you never want to, when you grow up, you think I'm never going to do these faos again.
E.
But somehow you end up in the space that your family influenced you in.
Yeah.
So yeah, my family, and one person I must mention especially is my grandma. She's still alive, Eleanor Curry, 94 years old.
Oh, viele li'i.
And
Beautiful.
she's the queen entrepreneur. She tells me all her stories about all her different ways of making money
Yeah.
back in the days. So she inspires me. And this is how I ended up in starting Inailau, is being inspired and realizing that it's our women, our grandmothers, our mothers, and our aunties, and that inspire us. And that inspired me to start Inailau, so that our women that don't have those mentors and those older family members that I had, that they can find a space in a community to be inspired by other amazing Pacifica women entrepreneurs.
Malofa fitai. That's beautiful. Viele li'i o lo soifua mai pea ia siutua, your grandmother, many, many years. And what a blessing to have a mentor at that age, still, still being able to share the tricks of the trade. Malo lava. Let's talk about Inailau, the Inailau Pacific Business Women's Network. Can you give us a bit of background? How long you've had the network running, and what does the membership look like, today in terms of numbers?
Yeah, sure. If I have time, we'll ever know. Yeah. So in terms of the organization was actually, as many people, there's so many entrepreneurs with this story. So it actually came about during COVID. So Previous to that, I used to run the Samoa Business Network on a voluntary basis
Mm,
with my dear colleague, Laura Kaho. So shout out to Laura. She's now started the Pacific Business Hub in Monaco,
mm,
which a lot of people in our business community are familiar with. But the roots of it really for um, Inailau started in my time working alongside Laura with the Samoa Business Network. So we used to run a lot of networking events for our Samoan business community, even not just here in New Zealand, but also in Samoa as well.
mm,
And so from there, during COVID, I realized uh, just, during that downtime, that a lot of our Pacific women during COVID were losing their jobs or hours cut down. And, obviously it was a time of just reevaluating. And through that, I realized there's so many Pacifica women sitting at home. And it's actually been a blessing because they had the opportunity to dream about what else would they do with their life besides their job and their kids and, looking after their family.
mm,
So from there, I noticed a lot of women were starting to start little businesses online. That's when online business became very popular.
mm,
And that inspired me. Those women during that time inspired me. And I realized there was a big need for a Pacifica Women's Network. Alongside that, during that particular time, sort of 2018, 19 to 20, pre-COVID, there was a lot of money getting invested into construction businesses
mm,
in our Pacifica community, which is amazing. And I know that a lot of those businesses are thriving now from that support. However, it just made me reflect on the fact that construction businesses are like probably 90% male-led businesses.
mm,
Although there are a lot of construction businesses run by couples or families where there are women involved, but the main person and I guess the person with the skill and talent is usually our Pacifica men.
mm,
So with all that funding going to construction businesses, I was always thinking like, what about our women businesses? If all the money's going there, who's investing in our women-led businesses?
mm.
So that was another inspiration to start Inailau was to be an advocate and be the person in the room that asks that question.
Yeah.
What about our Pacifica women-led businesses? And
Mm.
I've been like that person for a few years now where I turn up to these ponos and I'm like that woman in the room, like, excuse me, that's a great plan, but what about our women? What about our Pacifica women businesses? What is, what are our organizations, funding organizations, and government doing
Mm,
about our women-led businesses? So, and here we are, 4 years later, or
mm,
5 now, going on 5. In terms of membership, it has been another voluntary effort in the last few years.
eh,
So, like anything voluntary, it's on top of your, for me, my business.
yeah.
So I do deliver other business education programs as well under the Ministry for Pacific Peoples, Pacific Business Village, and I do some work for Pacific Business Trust and Business Link Pacific in the region. So that's like my paid work, if you want to call it that.
Yeah.
Um, but the Inai Lao has been a labor of love, really, as
Mm,
many community organizations. But I was inspired in last year by being part of a global female businesswomen's network called Female Fusion.
mm,
They're actually based out of Dubai and they're global,
mm,
but I got to attend an event last year here in New Zealand. And through that, I've actually learned from the founder and other, leaders of that organization, how to run a sustainable business model around a women's business network.
mm,
So that's where I'm moving to now, is actually making it more of a business venture
mm,
where Pacifica women can access business support services and not depend so much on funded services, but more like a very cost-effective access to business support services and in a community, not just for our Pacifica women in New Zealand, but also in the Pacific region and around
mm,
the world. So that's I guess, one of the reasons I'm having the events next week,
yeah.
besides, of course, celebrating International Women's Day, is to launch those new services.
Mm,
Um, just to answer your other question around membership,
mm,
so I've had during that time of COVID, or just after COVID, I started a group membership page on Facebook. At the moment, we have over 350 Pacifica women, entrepreneurs and business women. And I vetted every single person in that group to
Wow.
make sure they are Pacifica women.
Yeah.
Um, and so it's, those are women that have joined the group, interested in connecting with other Pacifica women entrepreneurs.
Mm.
And we actually had a membership call out in 2023 where we had initially 35 members actually join formally in the organization.
Wow.
So that's like the numbers.
E.
But we've been running events every International Women's Day now from 2023, 2024, or actually, sorry, from 2022. We ran an online series, and we had over 100 Pacific businesswomen tap into that series.
Mm.
In 2023, we ran a big International Women's Day event where we had our main guest speaker was Carmel Cipollone when she just became Deputy Prime Minister. So we had a massive turnout for that event. There was about 80 women that turned up, plus 20 something that were Zooming in.
Mm.
And then last year we did a series online again, and again had over 100 Pacifica businesswomen tune in. So that's shows that there are a lot of Pacific businesswomen and entrepreneurs who have not started their businesses yet, professional women, possibly, or stay-home moms that are interested in business. Every time we run an event, we always get those kind of numbers of women coming through. So there's definitely a need. And I'm really hoping next week but we have an online event and an in-person event in Auckland to bring together our Pacifica women again, to fellowship, to connect, to make connections. And given the current economic environment, I really want our Pacifica women to come out and make some connections that are going to actually help them
Mm.
to find new business and grow their businesses because, it's a tough economy right now.
Mm.
Opportunities are, not that many. Opportunities are out there right now to make extra money. And so I really want our Pacifica women to band together.
Mm.
I have a concept that I talk about in all of these events, and it's called creating a Pacifica Girls Club. So it's a common known thing around the world, really,
Mm.
that, a lot of business is done, big business, multi-million dollar business deals are done in boys' clubs.
Mm.
So those are gentlemen's clubs on the golf course, at different social occasions
Yeah.
where men get together and do business in a very informal way, but huge deals are done, huge business is done in those boys clubs. And
Mm.
so, and in our Pacifica space, we also have that. There are a lot of our men successful in business, corporate, and even in sport that they work together and they generate business opportunities,
Mm.
and share the business with each other. So I want to strengthen that with our women.
Mane.
Like, that is a amazing way for us to help each other and grow is let's grow a girls club where we are promoting each other. We are helping each other to, get contract work for the professional women
Mm.
and also supporting our businesses that sell products as well. So I'm super passionate about this.
Yeah.
I believe that it's definitely a way for our Pacific women to grow and thrive is we work very well when we're together in community
Yeah.
and we intentionally help each other. So that's just a little bit of insight about Inailau, our membership, and I guess where we're going.
That's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that, and I I love the passion that you have for it. You know, it's very evident in your speaking. You know, the heart that you have not only for the network but for our Pacifica women in general. So thank you for. Yeah, thank you for sharing that. Talking about our events next week, um, can you give us a bit of a rundown? Number one, for any Pacifica women who are listening in, who want to be a part of the network, how that they can do that, and then two, a bit of a bit of an outline as to our events next week. I'm looking at the promo here, which we will post up on our PMN Samoa page. E whalawi loa mo lau whaafonga mesila tōlo lunga social media. The Inailau Pacific Business Women's Network International Women's Day events Accelerate Action for Pacifica Businesswomen. Can you give us a bit of an insight into what we can expect next week? Malenganga whaloalo, Afamasaga.
So yes, in terms of our events next week, we have two events. On Tuesday, the 18th of March at 6:30 p.m., we have a Zoom event. So this event, we welcome any Pacific business women. We also want this to be an inclusive event. So I'm also welcoming any of our Maori wahine who want to also meet Pacific women entrepreneurs, and opening it up as well to our ethnic women, our cultural women in New Zealand and around the world that are interested in connecting with our Pacifica business women. And definitely, last but not least, I welcome our Pacifica men who actually are advocates and supporters of Pacific women-led businesses. So for that event, I will actually be launching our website, our new website, our new business coaching services, our new online networking services, and also access to resources for our Pacifica business and women. And through that as well, I really want this to be a global network. So I'm also reaching out to some of my contacts globally. I have some businesswomen friends in Dubai. I've invited them along as well to come and connect. And I do have a few followers for Inailau in the US and the Pacific region and so forth. So that Zoom is for any woman, Pacifica woman or Pacifica man who supports women in business to jump on and just, check out our new services. But also we will have some online networking as well, and connection and fellowship. I will have a couple of speakers as well. So I can confirm one of the speakers, her name is Shelly Burrich from Samoa. She's a well-known e-commerce entrepreneur and vanilla farmer in Samoa, very inspirational woman. She's also a business coach herself. She will be one of our main speakers on for that event. And I'm hoping to have one other Pacifica woman in business as well for the online. For the in-person event. So thank you so much to the Pacific Business Hub, who are our main sponsor for the in-person event. So we will have that event on Wednesday, the 19th of March at 6 p.m. at the Pacific Business Hub. It is a paid event. So please do check out the links that, as Desa mentioned, will be shared. And in terms of, that event, it will be a networking event. We will have an amazing panel of everyday Pacifica women in business who are going to talk about, the challenges, the issues, the triumphs, and the successes of being a Pacifica woman in business. And also we will have some of our supporting event sponsors who will also be speaking about Pacifica women in business. So I'll take an opportunity now to acknowledge our supporters of this event. As I mentioned before, the Pacific Business Hub, Blue Wave Ngala Moana is also supporting us. That event as well will be live streamed on our social media, particularly on Facebook, thanks to Blue Wave. And also we have EverySec Virtual Assistant Services who are supporting, the I guess preparations for that event. And finally, of course, Pacific Media Network. So that event, what to expect at that event again, will be networking with other Pacifica women. But it's an open invitation to our Pacifica men who want to come and support our women-led businesses, and also any of our Māori wahine sisters and other ethnic cultural business women who want to come and mix and mingle with our Pacifica women in business. It's an open invitation. For that particular event as well, Lisa, I just want to mention that I will be posting on the page. I really want our young women entrepreneurs and our students, our business students. I'm a previous lecturer at university and also a tutor at some of the institutions. So I know that our young women studying business, they don't always get to mix and mingle with actual, business, Pacifica women business owners. So I am going to put a specific post up where we will be giving away limited amount of free tickets to any business students or very early stage youth that are in just started a business, and we'll have a process, for accessing those tickets to actually attend for free for our youth and our young female Pacifica women entrepreneurs, or sorry, business students. Yes, so I also encourage as well, we will have a special discounted rate for any stay-at-home moms or anyone that's like a Pacifica woman who is currently unemployed or maybe, just maybe financially struggling to get to the event. We will have a special discount code that we can discount the entry fee for women falling into like that category. So yes, so that will be another, I guess, we encourage our women, especially the stay-at-home moms or maybe women that are at home, like Kausi Makua. I
Mali.
know so many women that not just Samoan, but yeah, other Pacific cultures where, olai ngofule fale ma Kausi Makua, and they have aspirations to do business, but they're very busy looking after our elderly. I welcome those women come out of the woodworks, find someone, whether it's our moms or whether it's our our, I guess, our Gosimakua women that want to attend. Please come, please, we'd love to have you because I know that you have dreams and inspirations as well. And I want you to come and plug in and be inspired, that you might be able to run a small business from home while you are doing the good work you're doing to take care of our elderly parents and grandparents. So I want to put that plug in as well. And just one last mention is the theme, Accelerate Action. So I have tied it into the actual official International Women's Day theme, Accelerate Action. So we are going to be talking about at both events, accelerating action for Pacifica business women. And this is why I also want our Pacifica brothers there, because we cannot accelerate action for our women-led businesses without the support of our Pacifica brothers and
Mali.
uncles, fathers, our elders. Um, we really need to take control of this, in the current political environment, there is not so much support as there used to be for Pacifica business in general, let alone our women, especially with a lot of the policies are being challenged right now around gender and diversity, in terms of funding that's tagged to Pacifica people, let alone Pacifica women. So I believe that to accelerate action, we need to take control of our destiny. And I really want to have this conversation and discussion through our panels and through open talanoa at these events. How can we, as a Pacifica business community, and also with the support of our wider Pacifica professional community, how can we accelerate action by intentionally supporting our Pacifica women-led businesses? Because I can tell you, Lisa, from all the years, 15 plus years here in New Zealand, and of course my time in Samoa as well, women-led businesses, and it's research-based. When you empower or when you help a Pacifica or any female entrepreneur or women-led business, you are literally enhancing the well-being of a Pacifica family.
Mali.
Okay,
Yeah.
because our women-led businesses directly support our kids, our elders. A lot of times our women are not able to go and work. They need the flexibility to be caregivers, to be community leaders, and so forth. And business provides an opportunity for them to have the flexibility, to have the freedom to do business, to utilize their God-given skills and talents as our Pacifica women to actually, do business in a more and make money in a more flexible way. So, but we need the support of our community. We need
Agi.
the support of everyone to get behind our Pacific women entrepreneurs and help them to actually build a thriving business, which will then benefit our families, give extra income to each and every family that gets and women that gets into business.
Malo whawhtai. Afamasaga, as we draw, to the end of our talanoa this afternoon again, I just want to thank you, Te Lese Luatu, but credit where credit is due. Thank you for just your passion for, the cause and for our Pacifica woman. If anyone is listening this afternoon and you have an inkling, even an inkling of a feeling or something within you that that makes you think, I might want to pursue something, along the lines of starting a business or any form of entrepreneurship, and you want to get along. If you are on our Facebook page, I've just posted up on the description of our talanoa this afternoon all the links that you can register for our Wednesday evening events, which is our in-person event. Correct me if I'm wrong, Afamasaga. Wednesday evening is our in-person events, Malitato virtual event via Zoom, which is on the Tuesday evening, Ilivaya Sofoa. So all the links to register for the events are on the description, as well as you can find the link to the Inailau Pacific Business Women's Network on our Facebook post. Look, Afamasaga, before we go, there's been a lot of really awesome sharing, mai lau whionga, e tō mo lea tualenga whawhtai. Any final words of encouragement or a final plug for anyone who's listening in? For anyone who is listening right now and hasn't been listening or hasn't felt anything from what you have shared, I'll be very shocked. But e tui tu atu lewa noa ma le nganga whaaloalo I sau sau noanga whaheiu. And any words of encouragement or wisdom for any of our young Pacifica women, business owners, entrepreneurs, budding entrepreneurs, or our Pacifica business owners in general. Ma le nganga whaaloalo, Afamasaga.
I will leave with I guess, the meaning of Inailau. So, as you know, those of us that know our very famous proverb, e au le Inailau atamaitai. So I was very intentional to name our network after this beautiful proverb. And, as we know as Samoans, our women are the backbone of our community. If you have an event or a task that you want to be completed at a very high standard, then it will always be given to our women. So I want to encourage our women that we are natural born entrepreneurs. We can take what, we have been taught as from a young age to be amazing coordinators, to be amazing, to use our talents and skills, our creativity, take what we do within our families, our churches, and our villages and our culture and apply it to a business. Because I know and I believe that our Pacifica women have a strength. And that is what Inailau is all about. It is the strength that we have that's very unique to us as Pacifica women. Yeah, ma tamaita isa more fo'i, we have so many strengths. So that is what Inailau is all about. It's all about looking at our ancestors and, when they came up with that saying, it was not by mistake. It's to
Magi.
acknowledge the strength of our Pacific businesswomen. So, yeah, my final word, I guess, I feel mai su mai talamaya au, like we welcome you to join us next week at the Inailau Pacific Business Women's Network International Women's Day events. I look forward to seeing you there. And finally, whaftai te lea lava lo whionga le sā mo le nei awanoa. And all the best for the rest of your show today. And manuia fo le aso le tato, atunu pele o Samoa. Ia whapena fo I matangata, I guess tangata matatua, ia maisi. a tatu, tangata Samoa lai whafonga mai, whaftai te lea lava mo ne awanoa.
Whaftai Afamasaga, ia manuia tele ia le alo atu mo le whamoemoe le vai aso fau, the Curry-Inailau Pacific Business Women's Network International Women's Day event. Accelerate action for Pacific business women. All the details you will find on our PMN Samoa Facebook page and the description of our interview today. Be sure to share it around, spread the word, and all the best with next week's events. Manuia tele lea ngai atu mo le weekend. Tātou toi wheloa ai e se aso i luma e mo le te minei. Soifua mai manuia.